Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Willow Fields as well. Currently doing a bit of chill out and doing a bit of work and making videos as well. So I wanted to have a quick chat with you about a couple of things. First of all, some of you were quite interested in why I changed my bike from the Mirider GB3 to the engwe EP2 Pro. So as you know, I was taking part in the Prostate Cancer UK charity cycle event or sponsorship or whatever you want to call it, and during that I kind of developed a real love of cycling. So I would go out and do, as you've seen if you followed it, over 30 miles a day or 30 miles a night or whatever, and it wasn't ruining me. And as you know, I'm not exactly, a skinny kind of normal cyclist type person. So for me to start sort of enjoying cycling again was quite a big deal. It's a long time since I've been enjoying cycling that much, and it just made me think about actually cycling more often. So rather than sitting there and watching a film or something in the evening, or wondering what I'm going to do and where am I going to go or anything like that, I carry a bike and go out and explore, which I've done in the past on the Mirider GB3, and I've kind of enjoyed it, but it's always been really short journeys. I've found that I can't ride it for as long as I would like to. So like an hour or maybe an hour and a half, and I feel quite fatigued. Obviously it's a commuter bike, and it does some amazing stuff. You've seen the amazing places that I've been able to ride to. So in no way, shape or form am I saying that there's anything wrong with the bike. More of the fact that what I was then choosing to do, I think I've kind of I thought in the back of my head anyway, I thought, I wonder if I'd enjoy it more if I got a different bike. So I basically looked around. I was actually trying to find like the updated model or the same model that we used to have, which was like a mountain bike style that still folded. My biggest problem is that it needs to fit in the space in my van that I've created for the GB3. Or as close to that as possible, without pulling my van apart again. So that's what I thought. I thought I need to make a decision about a bike that should do this, and this, and it's going to be better for me to ride, blah, 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 blah. And I came, obviously, to the point after watching many, many, many review videos of thinking that the engwe EP2 Pro was going to be that next bike. So I just ordered one on eBay for next day delivery, and started riding it. The last week of the cycle challenge, I was actually using that bike, and it made a massive difference. It's a longer frame, so I can stretch out a little bit more. The riding position is slightly more comfortable for me. Like I say, I'm going out for some of them were like 2.5 hour bike rides. So at the end of the day, it's not a nip to the shops or a run along the little canal towpath or whatever, between where you're currently parked up and a pub down the road, for example, which is what predominantly a lot of people use the Mirider for, as well as weird stuff like cycling up mountain passes and things like that, which some idiots do as well. It's a big chunky bike that can go off-road. 7 gears means that I can keep my cadence up far better. The Mirider GB3 had 3 gears, which were really good, but now and again I would find that my cadence wasn't right. I don't know how else to explain that. A cadence is the speed of which you're pedaling. and I get into a good rhythm of cadence, and I feel that I'm not pushing my legs too hard, and I feel like I'm getting good exercise at the same time. So I'm going quick with my pedaling, but I'm not sort of like overstressing myself or anything like that. It's difficult to explain, but there you go. And I found on the engwe that my cadence was far better with the 7 gears. I also, from going out on these bike rides, like sort of like a couple of hours or maybe more on the Mirider, I was struggling a few times where I would perhaps make my legs worse. Like I say, I've got a duff knee joint in my left knee, because I would want to go out there and do loads of miles on the Mirider, but the range on it, I would know that I've probably got 20 miles-ish, something like that, again because of my weight and the off-road tyres and everything else. So I'd go out there and have no assist for like the first half of the cycle route, and with the EP2, well, I don't know if you've seen the review or not, on the first time I charged it, I was at 82 miles or 88 miles, something like that. And again, that's purely down to the fact that the way that it assists you and the 7 gears are far more suited to the way that I ride. So the way that it assists you is that rather than the Mirider's motor is literally running all the time until you get to 15 miles an hour, then it cuts out, and it's just 5 levels of power. So between a light power assist and a heavy power assist, or rather a power assist, which is on the Mirider, the engwe, literally every one of the 5 power modes cuts off at a certain speed. So I found with the 7 gears and leaving it in assist mode 3 that it would assist me getting going, which is the biggest part about cycling, is the biggest stress on your legs and everything else is the getting going. But once I got going and got into my cadence in level 3, it basically just, it wouldn't be assisting me. So the battery lasts much longer, and the fact I've got 7 gears, so if I get to a hill, rather than going, I need more assistance using battery and reducing the range, I'm going down through the gears to give me, more range and ultimately more exercise as well. Good morning, folks. Out on my morning ride this morning, trying to get a few miles in, and can't park there, mate. So there are other things as well. I kind of I want a bike that I can maybe tinker with a little bit more. So for example, the EP2, I am currently sat in Willowfields waiting for a delivery of upgrades. So some of them are probably going to be easy for some of you guys if you're interested. So change it to hydraulic brakes. I'm changing the tyres, I'm changing the inner tubes. I'm also changing the cassette, which is the gears on the back, the 7-speed gears, to give me a bigger tooth on first gear and a smaller tooth cog on 7th gear. So that means that 7th gear will stop me going really fast when I get over 20 miles an hour. So my cadence will slow down to make it a bit more easier. And 32 will give a first gear where I can get up inclines far better, because at the moment it's 28 tooth on first gear. And that's just about doable with maximum assistance on the EP2. Got to remember, I'm a big guy and so's the bike. It's 32 kilograms or something like that. So yeah, every little bit of help is needed. On the brake side, I'm also going for bigger discs. So I'm going from, I think it's 160 to 203, which will give me, obviously along with the hydraulic brakes, the bigger disc will give me a greater braking efficiency and less brake fade. Because I was coming down when it's passed on the EP2 when I was doing the filming for the review, and yeah, it was quite a funny one really. I got brake fade at like 42 miles an hour. So I had to almost crash it just to stop myself running to the side of the road. So yeah, a bit interesting. So yes, that's probably a future video with all those upgrades all in one. Since I made the review video of the EP2 Pro, I've been sent many other bikes as well. So I'm going to do some review of some other bikes and obviously compare them all together, so we can actually go through the features of some bikes and what might be better for you or me. You know, depends if you need something that folds, or if you don't need a folding bike but you still want a fat tire bike, or etc, and go through them all. So yeah, lots of bike stuff going on, which I know is going to sort of like not really impress a lot of people, but you're watching a guy who likes cycling now, so get ready for some two-wheeled action, as well as the four-wheeled action. Mandy and I are both doing fine. We've spent the last couple of weeks just chilling with friends. So on the last bank holiday, we're actually here again at Willow Fields, and yeah, had just some nice few days of barbecue food, typically British rainstorm weather, and lots of catching up with mates and stuff like that. So that was really cool too. But yeah, overall, not a lot's been going on, in all fairness, so there's no point sort of making a video really. We've been out enjoying the bikes. The last few days of the bike challenge, again, we were around the Humber area, so we got to ride over the Humber Bridge, found a pub en route as well, which, you know, it's important. You've got to have some sort of refreshments while you go out for a bike ride, after all. I felt like the month had worked for me in many ways. So, like I say, got my interest back into cycling. I enjoyed the new bike, riding that for longer and just nipping out on it and stuff. It's really cool. And obviously for the charity as well, for Prostate Cancer UK, you guys, I know that obviously I asked you to, but you guys came forward and raised over £1,000. I think I did about 330 miles in the end, which obviously my target was 300, but every time that you kept donating after I'd finished the 300, I just felt like I needed to keep cycling. So yeah, I kept cycling, so I got to about 300 and something. And yeah, when all the donations came in and out, it was £1,001, I think it was. So yes, thank you very, very much for your wonderful and kind donations and messages of support and everything else. That has obviously helped that charity. They've sent me an email to say how much it's going to help them, and you know, help them with their research, and also help them with patient care. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Well worth the month of sore bottom. So plans for next week are the Overland Show in Stratford upon Avon. So if you're going to the Overland Show, we shall see you there. Both Mandy and I are coming. So yeah, we're going to be parked up in a field somewhere. So if you're around, we'll see you around there. But other than that, yeah, we're just sort of like making plans, travel plans, which at the moment are a little bit up in the air. If you follow Mandy, she might explain in a video soon. But yeah, we just need to hang fire a little bit in this area while we work out just a couple of little things that are going on. So you'll find out soon anyway. But this is such a wonderful place. Such a great little campsite to come and chill out. If you've never been to Willow Fields, then yeah, come check it out. Especially in the middle of the week when there's not a bunch of people here. At the weekend it gets rammed, but in the middle of the week it's just so peaceful. So there we go. A few little tweaks coming to the van. I'm not sure I'm going to keep my freezer. Yeah, I'm not sure it's working the way I wanted it to, and it consumes a lot of power, considering I just seem to be storing ice creams and food in there that I don't really cook or use. So I think the idea was that I would have the ability to stay off grid for weeks and weeks or whatever with a freezer. The reality is that's just not the case. So things work out differently. So I may go and get a different kind of fridge, like a good old traditional one, or I might keep them both as a fridge. Who knows? One for beer maybe, one for food. Her Highness is working at the moment.
Her Highness?
Yeah.
I'm glad you finally realised that.
But yeah, we're just chilling out, getting work done. And that's why I've not really been up to much, really. So there's not really an epic vlog to make. Yesterday we went to watch stage 3 of the Tour of Britain, which was quite similar to watching a stage of Tour de France, in that, yeah, the cyclists just whiz past you in a few seconds. But it was cool to catch up with Joe and Adi from All Things Timber as well, because they were kind of in the area as well, wanted to catch up with the cycling. So that was quite cool. And it was cool to see something else like the Tour de France, but in Britain, and to see that other people are as crazy for cycling as we are and still come out and cheer people along and dress the vans up and everything else. So that was really cool too. So yeah, I think that is enough of a little update from me. Hope you're all having a good week. And if you are at the Overland Show, I shall see you there, folks. Take care now. Bye. Lovely ride down the bridge. Very nice. Ooh, are we going to crash into each other?
Of course not.
Videoing and cycling one-handed is challenging on uneven surfaces.
And it's bumpy.
It's bumpy as well, yeah.